Today you are joining me in beautiful Guatemala. It's in the morning time, so let's go ahead and do a short morning flow. This will be about a 30-minute practice. So you can go ahead, join me on your mat. And we're gonna sit on the heels. So you can either do tops of the feet down, knees together, feet together. If you wanna get a little bit more into the toes, you can tuck your toes so the balls of the feet are down towards the ground, and then you're sinking your hips down towards your heels. Working on extending through the spine, so you're stacking your shoulders directly over your hips. Create a light contraction, navel pulling back and in, so a little bit, finding some stability into the core. Allowing the palms to rest onto the thighs, rolling those shoulders back and down and extending through the crown of the head. And once you feel like you get settled in, just go ahead and close your eyes, allowing your awareness to come more internal, going inside a little bit. Allowing the body to find a few moments of stillness. Creating a little bit more intention behind the breathing. And just gently start to lengthen your inhales and lengthen your exhales. Adding some light restriction in the back of the throat while you breathe, incorporating that Ujjayi breathing. Just working to find that rhythmic pattern of breath. You're going to work to keep this breath work with you as you move through this practice, allowing your breath to be your guide. Continue to keep practicing inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Maintain that light restriction in the back of the throat while you breathe. Take about 2 more cycles of breath right here before we start to get a little bit deeper into some movement. Last breath right here. And you can go ahead, gently open up your eyes, stand up on your knees. You can either keep your toes curled under if you have that, or you can take the tops of the feet down towards the ground. You want to open up your knees about hip distance so those knees are directly stacked underneath those hips. Work on reestablishing that straight spine. And with your next inhale, go ahead, reach your arms overhead and add just a little gentle back bend as you push your pelvis forward. You reach your arms up and back. Hands can come shoulder distance or palms together. Think about you're really stretching and opening the whole front side of the body, getting the chin off the chest, settling into it on your exhale. Inhale, coming back through center, and exhale, just taking this right arm underneath the left. So you're just crossing up these arms, tightest cross that you can, and just start to spiral the upper body in a clockwise direction. You can start this really small, and then as the spine loosens and the upper back starts to loosen, you can make this a little bit bigger. Just loosening up the spine. Practice inhaling as you're opening up the chest, you're moving into that back bend, and exhale as you're rounding the spine. Take about 3 more. Stay in this direction. You're circling to the right. Finish this last round out. Slow it down towards the end. Coming back through center, reestablishing that straight spine. Reach the hands back behind you. Interlock your hands, so palms together, cross your thumbs. Open up the chest, so stretch the hands off the lower back. Take a little lean back. You're thinking about opening up through the collarbone, through the chest, through the throat. And then with your exhale, coming back through center, taking both hands, you're going to keep that bind, but take the hands outside that left hip. You're pushing the left palm into the right. Push this right shoulder down away from the ear and just let your head fall off towards the left side. If you want to incorporate a little bit of movement, tilting your chin up and back, chin down, we're just stretching into the right side of the neck. And then bring your chin into your chest, hands on your hips, just start to spiral your head in a clockwise direction. Now, if you're noticing any discomfort standing up on your knees here, you can always roll up your mat. So you're doubling up your mat to add a little bit of extra cushion underneath the knees. Or if you have something like a blanket, you can roll that underneath the knees if they need a little extra support. Three more rotations, stay in this direction. And we'll finish this last round out. Bringing that head back through center. Big toes together, little space between the knees, and settle into a child's pose. So you can crawl your hands out in front of you, hands are about shoulder distance. Spread your fingers really wide. Work on resting your forehead down towards the mat. And just take 3 cycles of breathing right here. And then with your next inhale, rolling back up onto the knees, 1 vertebrae at a time. So this can be a little bit slower than you think. So start by rounding the spine, bringing the chin to the chest, and then you're slowly rolling up through each vertebrae. Head is going to be the last thing to come up. You're sweeping the arms out to the side, pushing the pelvis forward, opening up the spine. Remember, hands can be shoulder distance or palms together. And then exhale, release those arms, cross your left arm underneath the right, so you're giving your body that hug, and start to spiral the upper spine towards the left. Now you can go deeper. I do have my mic right here, so I'm trying not to go a little bit too deep here, but you want to create that nice cross with your arms. So spiraling the upper body to the left, synchronizing the movement with the breath. So inhaling as you pick the chest up, exhaling as you drop the chest down. You can let the head follow the movement. You want to make sure this is slow and controlled, making every circle as big as you can. Let's just take about 3 more. And then finishing this last round out. Bending back at neutral with your next inhale. Reach your hands back behind you. You're going to interlock your hands once again, but you're going to do the non-dominant grip. So you'll have a dominant grip. You're just going to switch that 1 finger behind. Work on extending those hands off the lower back to open up the chest. And then taking both hands outside that right hip, pushing the right palm into the left. Drop the left shoulder down away from the left ear, standing nice and tall. Let your head fall towards that right shoulder, and then just add that gentle movement, kind of rolling the head back slightly and forward slightly. So now we're stretching into the left side of the neck. When you're ready, bringing the chin to the chest, hands on the hips, start to roll your head towards the left, full circles around. Three more. And after you finish this last round, we're going to find a tabletop position. So you bring your head back through center, place your palms down, find that tabletop position. From tabletop, your knees should be directly underneath your hips. We're going to actually open up the hands here. So you're going to come onto the fingertips and open up the hands until they come off the mat. Now you can play around the distance. So if you have longer arms, you can go a little bit further, right hand towards the right, left hand towards the left, and make sure your fingertips are pointing in opposite directions. You're going to take an inhale here through center, and then on the exhale, start to bend the right elbow, drop the left shoulder down towards the mat. It might not get all the way down, that's okay, but we're just stretching into that left shoulder. Inhale, come through center, and exhale, switch sides, bending the left elbow, dropping the right shoulder down. You're gazing towards the left, and then just side to side like this. Inhale as you come through center, exhale as you get into that stretch. If it's too much to be up on the fingertips, you can be down on the palms, but adding a little bit of lift onto the fingertips is just going to make this a little bit deeper of a stretch. Let's hit each side one more time. Making your way back to that tabletop position, so hands on the mat. And if you can, turn your fingertips on both hands to point back towards your knees. So we're getting into a little bit of a stretch into the wrists and the forearms. Then you can take a few rounds of cat-cow like this. If it's too much to do both hands at the same time, you can do one hand at a time. All right, breath to movement. Inhale, tilting the tailbone up, wrapping the shoulders back, lifting the gaze. And then exhale, little lean back towards the knees as you round your spine, chin into the chest. Get that stretch. And then two more like that. Last one. Let's hold on this last one so you can tuck your toes, take your hips back towards your heels a little more, just increasing that range of motion, that stretch into the fingertips, the palms, the wrists. And then resetting back to that tabletop position, pointing all 10 fingers forward, restacking the palms directly underneath the shoulders and tops of the feet down. We're going to get into a little bit of hip mobility, and we're going to start with that right side. So start by hovering that right knee off the mat, and you're going to pull the knee into the chest, pull it away from the body towards the back, and then circle it around. So if you notice, you're drawing a full circle. So knee in, out, up, and down. Now, as you're doing this, keep the core nice and active. Make sure you're not dumping a lot of weight down into the shoulders. So you're continuously pulling the shoulder blades away from the spine. And you're just really working to smooth this out as we warm up that hip. Knee in, out, back, and around. You can point or flex your right foot, but do something just to make sure that that foot is nice and active. Let's take one more circle. So right now we're circling towards the back. We're going to stay with the same leg, but we're going to start to pull it forward. So you're going to switch that circle forward. So it's going to go out, in, back, and up. And then you repeat out, in, back, and up. So you might notice in the background here in Guatemala, they do like to light off fireworks all the time. So you might hear a boom every once in a while. It's fireworks. There they are. All right, a few more just to balance ourselves out in this direction. And let's do this last one. Now from here, go ahead, open this knee out, and we're gonna step this right foot to the top right corner of the mat. Just gonna go ahead, step that forward. You wanna make sure it's towards the right side of the mat so your hips are nice and open. If you have blocks at home, you can definitely place blocks underneath your palms here to help lift you up a little bit if this is intense. But crawl your hands a little bit further forward so your fingers are in line with your toes. Slightly open those right toes out towards the right. We're gonna move a little bit here. So work on sinking down into that left hip, allowing the right knee to open out towards the side. You wanna open up the front side of the body. So you can be on the palms, on the fingertips, or hands can be on blocks. And then with your exhale, start to pull your pelvis back, flex the right toes, and work on bringing your upper body down. So we're stretching the back side of that right leg, and you're getting a little stretch into the spine. You're just gonna keep moving like that with your breath. Inhale, left hip forward and down, open up the hip, lift the gaze. Exhale, hips back, flex the toes, upper body down. 3 more like that. Just about 1 or 2 more. With this last one, when you pull the pelvis back, we're gonna stay there and we can add on a little bit. So if this is enough for you, you stay right here. Just keep pulling the pelvis back, flexing the toes back towards the shin. If you can get a little bit lower, you can lower down to your forearms and work on getting your chest a little bit closer towards the ground. Nothing changes in the leg stays. You're just working on bringing the upper body a little bit closer towards the mat. Few cycles of breathing here. Let's take 1 more breath. And then you're gonna come back up onto your palms. Carry this right leg back behind you, keep it off the mat. Point and flex the right foot, you decide. Work on establishing that core, so you're pulling the core in, finding the balance, and reach that left arm forward. So left arm should be reaching forward, right leg back. Inhale as you reach, really create space between the fingers and the toes, and then exhale, elbow to knee, pull the 2 together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull in. Nice and smooth. And 2 more. This is the last one. Finish it out, elbow to knee. Come back to the extension. This is up to you. You can either extend and hold, just finding that balance, or if you have the flexibility, start to bend the right knee, reach the left hand back, catch the inside of the foot. Make sure you have a nice tight grip on the foot. Kick the foot into the hand, work on lifting the knee, lifting the thigh, opening up the shoulder, and then eventually lifting your gaze up, and just breathe here.